going, everybody? I'm Nick Major, APTV Los Angeles correspondent, and next to me, I've got Dave, Andy, Brent, and Ben from Crown the Empire. And guys, we're right near Dallas, Texas. We're in Grand Prairie, which is pretty close, and you guys are from Dallas.
That's right.
So this is kind of like a hometown event that we're doing. So I think it's a perfect time to talk a bit about the history of the band and how you guys came to be. Yes? Yeah. So first off, you got started in 2010?
Yep.
Is that when you first started? So how did you guys meet each other? You guys are all still pretty young now.
Yeah.
So you must have been almost infants when you first started.
We were, it was half of us. Three of us met in high school. We went to Colleyville over here in Dallas. Just met up, wanted to be in a band, started doing garage stuff, and we started getting attention doing online promotion and stuff like that. And we, wanted to get better people and, more serious people, musicians. And so we actually found these two guys online and Dave from the local scene. It just kind of pieced its way together, and this is the final lineup, and it's been really great.
And your sound, it kind of goes from like heavy to really kind of happy, catchy, good stuff.
Yeah.
So what was the inspiration that you guys grew up with, and what did you guys first start playing when you guys were doing covers? Or were you guys doing covers when you first started, or did you immediately start going in and writing original tunes?
Yeah, our first. Oh man, we originally tried to do a bunch of originals. Our first show ever, we had a month to write a 4-song set. We were opening for the show, and some of the worst stuff ever. There's still videos out there, I'm sure. But yeah, it was original stuff.
So it's nothing that stuck? Did you wipe all that stuff pretty quick?
We tried to delete every possible trace of it, but it's still out there. So.
And for the sounds that you guys bring in now, what are some of the inspirations that you guys have always had, whether it's been what you've listened to growing up or current stuff that you guys have that gets included into your music?
Everyone's been coming back from different musical backgrounds. Mm-hmm. So we all have different influences and stuff that plays into it, which is like why we have such a weird genre and like, yeah. So
Dave, what about you? What was some stuff that was inspiring you while you were growing up?
When I was younger, I was listening to like Green Day and shit like that. So that was like a huge thing for me. And obviously like big metal bands, Metallica and all that stuff back in the day. But then older I got, I just kind of would get into bands, that are in the scene and stuff like that. And then I don't know, I think that was pretty much mine. That was it, really. Those are my biggest ones, yeah, at least.
Yeah. That's good. So you ranged from pop punk to metal.
Oh, yeah.
So nothing's wrong. And you guys, what instrumentally do you guys bring to the albums? Like, what is you guys listen to, or what do you guys still do that influences you?
Oh, I always grew up, and I loved, like, bands, like heavier bands that also had an image, but I was always a sucker for melody. So I got into the metal scene a little bit just for as a drummer, just like drums are so technical in metal, but I was always a sucker for melody. So I love the genre we're in, that we can kind of expand and do a bunch of stuff with the image and with some heavy music, but still at the same time throw violins and a lot of cool choruses and catchy parts on them. So.
Uh-huh. And at what point did you guys realize, like, hey, we actually might be onto something here to where, because you guys were still at the high school age, and I'm sure you guys had thoughts of if you were going to be going to college after, or what kind of stuff you'd be doing after high school. But when did you guys realize, hey, you know what, we actually got something here that we can actually hit the road and be a band?
Well, I think right when we released the EP Limitless ourselves, so when it hit number 5 on iTunes rock charts when it first came out, we're just like, Jesus. And the next day is when like all the labels started hitting us up, and we're just like, oh damn. And then we're like, let's just try this, like, for real. And then we got the Use tour, Take Action tour, was probably like, all right, this is gonna be for real. This is something we're gonna do for a really long time. And then we got the alternative press cover, and it was just like, just everything from there was just like, then we're booked for 2 years straight, and it's just like, so it was just like, we didn't have a choice really. It's just like, this is your next tour and your next tour and your next album. We're like, all right, down.
Here we go. So that was pretty good. It sounds like once it started to happen, it just kept snowballing, and more stuff kept happening. So yeah, you guys, you've been on the cover of AP. You did that pretty quickly, and so how did that help you guys? Like, what have you guys? How's it been in the last year? Was that about a year ago that you guys were on the cover?
Yeah. We're on about 100 bands cover last year.
And so is this a magazine that you guys grew up reading, the alternative press?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had covers on our walls. I think everyone did, and just like we did the off the wall thing last year. We all pulled out like our favorite covers off, and it was just surreal, like having your picture on it. I just recently hung up like my framed one on my wall and stuff. It just
it's something.
It's absolutely crazy.
And then because you were originally just a solo vocalist in the band, is that? Yeah, and then Dave, why did you guys decide to implement a second vocalist, and how did you get found to be in this?
Well, first, okay, yeah.
guess
At first,
it
we
was
started out doing this. My voice was getting shot. I had no experience, no technique behind it. And I knew there were people that were way better. We didn't want to be one of those bands that, like, you hear them on the record and everything's, polished and great, and then you hear them live and I'm just, like, awful, And so I figured I'd focus on singing and then find someone who's, like, really, really just can fucking kill it. And, I don't know if I can cuss. We knew Dave. Dave was from Dallas, and the locals, and we played a few shows together. He was in this band called Euphony, and we wanted him so bad, and he turned us down at first, and we kept trying, and he finally came in, and it's been fucking awesome ever since.
Yeah. At the time, I mean, they didn't have like management or a label or anything like that, and it didn't seem very legitimate. So I was just kind of like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then they came back to me after Outer Loop Management had picked them up, and then the manager actually asked me, and then I was like, yeah, I'll try it out. And then I went on a tour and had the time of my life and stuck with it and recorded the album and everything. So.
Sounds like it worked out pretty good for you guys, because now you're
great.
touring nonstop. You got the Fallout that came out.
Oh, yeah.
And so how was the reception of that for you guys for your first album, for your first studio album that came out? It came out with Rise. I'm sure, what was it like when you guys, as a pretty fresh band, when like record labels like Rise showed interest in you guys? And because I'm sure some of your favorite bands were probably on that label, and that was a label you were reaching for.
Definitely. It was like overwhelming at first, because we had put it out. We're just like, we have these great ideas. Like, we'll put them out. We'll see how well it does. And the reception was so great right off the bat that we got hit up by like 6 or 7 labels all at once. And being like 16 years old, just like, I don't know what to do with these contracts. Like, what does this mean? So, we needed to.
When you're that young and it's happening, how do you handle all that? And how do you handle all the pressure when it's all these people fighting to get you? And
we had lawyers, and like my mom, like you can't sign a contract until you're 18, so my mom had to sign for me and stuff. So
you're kicking off a tour. Yes, it's just starting off. You're a bit sore, I hear, from.
Oh yeah. Oh, hangovers. It takes you about 3 days to get back in the groove of tour, and like first night, like your neck is swollen and you're tired and exhausted, but I'm so stoked to be back on tour.
And so with Limitless, were you guys planning on redoing it?
We did a re-release that came out. We just wanted to do something for our fans to put it out because we were told we were going to tour off of this record for at least another half a year. So we needed something, and we just figured, why not kind of show like progression of sound. The original Limitless was very like synth-based, just kind of like what was trendy at the time, and we just like kind of wanted to refine it and show like the direction we kind of wanted to go.
Mm-hmm. And so you implemented both vocals, right? And you
definitely
redid it in like a whole new tuning and everything that you guys did. So it's a completely new thing. And since the reception has been so good for you guys since the Fallout came out, since these last few years, you guys have some big plans for the future now? Any plans to start putting out some fun new stuff?
So yeah, we just got done recording our second album with Dan Corniff. We flew back from New York. We were there for I think six or 7 weeks, and it's been incredible. We got to do everything we wanted to do. We have real strings. We have tons of cool stuff, tons of cool ideas we actually got to do. And hopefully, we can't say a lot, but hopefully, if the plans work out the way we want them to, we'll be able to do a lot of cool stuff.
That's cool, guys. So it's been a good 4-year run, and it sounds like it keeps getting stronger for you guys.
Oh yeah, super lucky, super stoked.
That's good. And so that's pretty much a brief history from start to finish of you guys, and the perfect setting of close enough to Dallas because we're out in Grand Prairie.
Totally counts.
So guys, thanks for chatting. And again, so we've got Dave, Andy, Brent, and Ben. And you guys are all. What are you guys heading up next? Who are you on tour with right now? Before we sign off.
Asking Alexandria, August Prince Red, We Came as Romans, and Born of Osiris right now. So
check them out. That's a pretty sweet tour that these guys are on. And once again, I'm Nick Major, APTV Los Angeles correspondent. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nick_Major, as well as Alternative Press at AltPress to be up to date with all the latest music news. Thanks again, guys, and see you next time.